Aaron, I was just sitting here talking to you, man, and I got to be honest, dude. First of all, let me just say I love our backgrounds. Backgrounds are fire. Both coaching programs being well represented, brother. So, I was sitting here just thinking about something, man, and I got to get your thoughts. If you got everything you wanted right now, today, everything landed in your lap exactly how you wanted it. First of all, I would love to know what that is, but
Mm.
what would you do with that? How would that grab you?
Bro, love this because I think that's what we think about when we do what we do. We've got to have a why. We've got to have a reason why we're doing all the work to because there's got to be an out. There's got to be a reason why we're doing it. Whether it be just helping so many people and just want so many people to level up and to improve their lives. But I think at the same time as well, for me, I don't want to be where I'm at. I fucking hate where I'm at. And the real like there's people out there that say they love their life.
Mm,
And yes, I enjoy I enjoy my life. However, it'd be so much better when I don't have to worry about the shit I'm worrying about at the moment. And what I mean by that is I don't want to have to worry about how the fuck I'm going to pay for my rent. I don't want to have to worry about, having to rock up to a a job or to rock up and trade time for money because you need that money to pay for your rent, put food on the table. I mean, for a lot of us, every single one of us, probably even a lot of people listening to this, that, and we just go back to the stats. Stats in Australia, stats in America, there's 70% of both Americans and Australians that have less than $1,000 in their bank account as an emergency fund. And the stats are really fucking high. Um, Problem is with that I see, this is my opinion, guys. I'm not a fucking expert here, but my opinion is that there's so many people stuck and they're so unwilling to push themselves out of their comfort zone to see the possibility of an opportunity. And there's very few people that are willing to do that. So they're kind of stuck, enslaved in a system and stuck. But for me, that whole financial security, like my value, number one value is freedom. That's my number one value. So everything I do evolves around freedom. What does freedom look like? Well, there's financial freedom, there's freedom of time, there's all of that. My second one is love or family. That's my second one. My family, my loved ones, that's a really high value. Um, Now I'll bet you probably, in all honesty, I'll change it around a little bit. Number one is health, because without my health, nothing else fucking matters. Number two is my freedom, and number three is family. I love the family and my kingdom, people I care for. Everything I do revolves around that. So I need to ensure that can I look after myself on a health level as good as I can? And I'm talking about not going to spend money to go GP. Like, fuck that. Hate doctors. Don't do that. Don't take any medication. I'm not on that shit. So I want to be in a place from a health perspective and every single week and not have to worry about how I'm going to get good nutrition and ensuring that I can go to the gym every single day and look after myself on a physical level. Feeding my mind on a mental level. Like, what can I do? Can I have that time to find the clarity, go to the beach, like do the walk things, go into nature, seek clarity and ground? Like that for me is a really big one. So health is everything. It's physical, mental, like everything. And then the freedom side of it is everything I'm doing at the moment is working around that freedom of not having to be stuck in a 9 to 5, not having to be controlled with I'm only going to pay you this much when you give me this amount of time. Like, fuck all that shit. So how does it look if I could put a figure, dollar figure on everything, for me, and this is comfortable, but I'm not going to stay there comfortable right now. You want to be earning about $150,000 a year. But do I want to stop there? No, no, I don't want to stop there because here's the thing. I want to also show people that with everything I'm doing on a daily basis, no matter what I'm feeling, no matter the circumstances I'm faced with, I'm ensuring I'm still doing all the things every single day that I've told myself I need to do. And I want more people to experience the joy that I have in the past. And, life is this fucking roller coaster. We're in a bit of a downturn at the moment, but I'm still showing up. And people,
Just
yeah, man.
go ahead. No, it's just
It's
I was
gonna,
just gonna say I feel like there's so much revolving door with this, right, Aaron? Because and I want you to keep going, by the way, because I just was thinking about it and everything you just named off there, it's not really something that you arrive at, right? Because to your point, you just said you have this number in mind, but that's not where you want to stop. But in order to do that, it means you need to impact more people.
yeah.
So I want to hear more about that, bro, because that we need to unpack that a little bit more.
I was only going to end with the analogy that I use, that this has been 55 years and been on this earth 55 years. This has been a 55-year journey. But the reality is that no one's going to pay any fucking attention to what I'm doing until I've made it. And even though the end goal is wanting to help more people, I want more people to see my stuff. That's not the reality right now. No one gives a shit. So I really need to tune into me and go, what's important to me? Go back to my why. Why am I doing what I'm doing? Showing up for yourself every single day. Don't worry about, and we've talked about it in the podcast. We're gonna touch on it a little bit today as well. Is that the external validation? Am I being dictated by what other people's expectations of me are? Am I doing what social expectations are of me to do? It's like, no, I'm not. And that's again the hardest thing. It's like I'm not searching for external validation. I just want more people to experience what I'm experiencing. Experiencing going to bed at the end of every day, going, I won the day. I won the day. Right, let's go. You fall asleep, you reset, you got to do it all over again. Nothing changes. So and it's a hard reality. It's a hard reality when we put all this effort in, and it just takes so long for anyone to kind of recognize anything you do because you just want to help people. I mean, look, here's the reality, guys. Reality is I've been doing the health and fitness game for fucking 27 years. I got into it in 1996. Shit, okay, 28 years. I got into it in 1996. I'm 55 years old this year. I'm probably in a mental perspective, my mental health, my emotional maturity, my understanding of myself is on the highest level it's ever been in all the years that I've been alive because of a couple of things. I'm tuning into me. I'm listening to my voice. I'm trusting my voice and how I'm being guided. I'm tuning more into faith and faith of um, the process and trusting the process. That's kind of like where the faith comes in. The other thing is not listening to people that don't have the life I want and not paying attention to society. Fuck that. Like, I need to be coming from me because my why is my why, not anyone else's. And once I start paying attention to someone else's opinion, I'm being altered off my path. So I need to stay in absolute alignment with not only my purpose, why am I here, what do I want to do? I want the world to be a better place. I want everyone to be better than where they are. I want everyone to have a great life, not a fucking mediocre or average life. So what do I need to do? Well, firstly, show up for yourself. And secondly, is that there's a proven process that I'm doing that I've been playing in for the last 10 years, which is the Awaken Warrior program. Everything I've been doing for the last 10 years is all in this program. And this is not just a fucking gimmicky, softy approach. If you've heard of the 75 Hard, I want you to look up the 75 Hard program by Andy Frisella. Look into that. Also want you to look into the Wake Up Warrior program. Look into that. Have a look at what they do. You got the 75 Hard, you got the Wake Up Warrior. That's what the Awaken Warrior program is. And this is not easy. It's intense and not everyone can do it. However, the big thing behind it is that if you do all the things that I'm asking you to do and that I do every single day, I guarantee you will end the day and go, holy fuck, you'll be on fire. And I want people just to be on fire every single day and realize that when you have someone that's going through the same journey in your corner, like my brother, John, we're going through this journey together. It's fucking insane, the shit that we experience at the same time. But when you have someone in your corner going through the same stuff, and it's like, hey, man, we got this, bro. That's all it is. We got this. Let's fucking go. When you have someone there, and they don't even have to say it, all you need to do is feel it. And when you have that, all you need is just that one person to say, let's fucking go. And that keeps you going, keeps you on path. So, yeah, man.
I love that, bro. I absolutely love that. And that I'm so glad that you got that out there because it just really kind of reiterates why we're doing what we do. But I think I want to roll this back a little bit now. And I want to just go back to the original question of getting what we want. Right. And so that requires everything that Aaron just talked about, right? We got to show up every day. We've got to do the things that we don't feel like doing when we don't want to do them. But I just keep going back to Aaron, what it looks like, what life looks like if I got everything I wanted. If everything, we won't even say goals. I learned
Yep.
this, from kind of somebody that I'm watching online right now, and it's not goals. It's it's something new, meaning you don't want something new, but you're never at an end game. But when you get what you want, what do you do with that? How does that elevate? How does that grow? Does it just become a bigger stage that you're on? What does that do, Aaron, when you if you just look at it right now, brother, and you go, I got everything I want. Just fast forward to that day. I got everything I want. Everything I want, everything I worked my ass off for, all the blood, sweat, and tears I put into this is mine.
Yeah.
Now what? I want you to talk about now what.
And I'd like to hear your story because I know you're sort of touching on me. But the great thing is that when you ask me the question, I've got everything I want, I see it from a materialistic perspective. But here's the thing: if I had, and the ultimate dream is a warrior shed gym, where people can come and be empowered, and level up.
Powerful, dude.
Yeah,
Man,
level up. Setting standards. Everyone's there raising their standards. Everyone there is, after everyone else. Everyone's there also, holding everyone accountable to do the right things, like put your fucking weights away. You know, you come to my gym, everyone puts their weights away. It's tidy. No one leaves shit on the floor. If you leave shit on the floor, someone's gonna pull you up on it. So the whole thing for me is I want everyone to raise their standards. And if you can raise your standards, for yourself, like every day do one random act of kindness every day, one random act of kindness. Like, how would you feel within yourself knowing that you've made someone feel good? Also, having a conversation with a stranger, like, how would you feel? So, therefore, for me, it's like if I can get everyone to go, we need to improve this world, but it starts with me. Great. Then you come to the Warrior Shed Gym, and I want you to kick your ass. I want everyone to be better. I want people to be ripped and jacked and fucking feeling on fire physically, because we know as men, you go there, you're going to feel good physically. It's going to flow into your mental wellness. That's just what we are. You look good, you feel good. You from a mental perspective, you're going to be more clear on where you're at. So for me, it's having that gym. It's also having the message. It's being able to hold people accountable. It's help people raise their standards to be a better individual, a better lover, a better father, a better human being. And then that flows into business where people make more money. And then when you're making more money, you're going to have a better life. So the one message, and I'm going to end with, it's really, really simple. How many people can it impact? Real simple.
yeah, dude, I love that. And I'll jump in real quick. Like you say, you want to hear a little bit about why
I want
or
to hear
what
a
it would
lot.
look like, what it
Oh,
would look
little.
like for
I want to,
me,
I want
right?
to hear a lot about you, bro. Come on, man.
Yeah, no, and I love it, Aaron. But honestly, it's not long-winded, dude. For me, it's very crystal clear. It's doing this, what you and I are doing right now, this podcast on a big stage where we have millions of people listening to us, right? And that's just one piece of it. That's one piece of it. I would also love to have a retreat, sort of the same way that Tony Robbins has, not necessarily on some grand, fantastic island. I'm talking about somewhere
Or a yacht.
local, meaning not necessarily in Colorado, but just, have this idea in my mind of just having some like Las Vegas sweet desert mecca where people could go and just sit and get value from this program that is starting out very, very simple, but growing into something beautiful.
Mm,
And to me, that's when I look at it and I sit back and I go, I've made it. Not that I'm done. I'm not done by any means. I didn't meet my goal because the goal doesn't stop. It's I'm here now. Everything that I worked my ass off for and got zero views or X amount of views or not so many people engaged or blah, 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 right? It's, I'm here now. You didn't see me in the dark for so long, but now I'm here. I have what I want. But for me, bro, it's not materialistic. For me, it's time freedom. And I've said this 100 times over, dude. I'll say it again. It's being able to say, I want to go golfing on a Tuesday morning at 9 a.m. and I have zero things because I have actually scheduled that into my day. I have meetings from sun up to sundown, but from 9 to 11, I've decided that I'm going to go golf. Hold my calls. I have somebody taking care of that for me. I've got $1 million team around me of people who all are like-minded and who see the same things. See, bro, I say this stuff out loud, man, because I say it like I've already done it, like it's already here. And that moves me in that space, and the universe hears it and goes, oh, John, we're there. So I had to bring this up, Aaron, because you and I, with what we're going through right now, it's really easy for us to get really, really frustrated. But when we start talking about we've made it, we're there, we've got everything we want. Now what? It gets me really pumped because I know that there's so much more that's out there for us when we arrive at that point.
Absolutely. For everyone. And this is one thing I think a lot of people really misunderstand is that they're stuck in this bubble that the life they have at the moment is a life that they've been given and that's the only life they can live. No, not at all. Look, there's a lot of elements, there's a lot of moving parts in being able to make a decision and going, fuck it, don't want to do that life anymore and changing trajectory. The one thing that I think both of us have is that we've got absolute resolve and resilience to get the job done. Like otherwise, we wouldn't be constantly showing up every single day doing what we do. So there's that courage to do all the things when people around us or that little bitch voice in us is telling us else otherwise. The ego's coming in and saying it's all too hard, shouldn't be doing this. No one else is doing it. Why should you do it? It's not going to work. All these things are going through my head when we have a look at the data. Like I said, I'm a big data guy. When you look at the data and the data's not doing what you want to do, the bank account's not moving as fast as you want it to move. Or even if it goes backwards, you're like, what the fuck? Why am I doing this? Then I take a step back and I have to always constantly ask myself, why am I doing this? What do I want to see? I want to see a Warrior Shed gym. I want to see like-minded men coming in, getting jacked, training hard, like being the men that the world need, being the fathers that their fucking kids need, being the husbands to their wives that their wives need. Men walking around feeling sexually desired by their wives, which every man wants to be sexually desired by their wives. But I also want men that are single, like myself, to not walk around with a fucking chip on his shoulder going, I'm all that and more. Get the fuck out of here. Level head. You will be a better individual knowing that you can help someone. I want to make, and it all goes back to the same thing that I've been saying pretty much all my life, ever since I got in the fitness game for the last nearly 30 years, is I just want the world to be a fitter and healthier place. And the only way for it
But I
to be,
love,
huh?
sorry, bro. I'm having a bad way to just interrupt you, bro. Sorry.
No,
I just,
no, I
this,
missed that though. What was
I
that?
had this, I had this thought though, you have all these powerful, thoughts of when you arrive, right? And I think it's so dope to be able to say this. But one of the things that you shared with me was being able to go and actually set up a house for your son. Dude,
Oh, oh,
doesn't that get epic when you
yeah,
think about, hey, I just paid cash for you, son. Where do you want to live? I
yeah,
got you.
yeah.
And then the other thing is we talked about this generational wealth, bro,
Yeah,
where you and I say it's not about the first name that we're living for right now. It's the last name that we want to
yeah,
leave a footprint into this world going, you know what? Aaron has a gym that you can visit right now today. It's called the Warrior Shed. He's got all these epic players. He's got amazing coaches in there. And oh, by the way, his son is set up for life. John's family is set up for life. Once he's gone, he has left a footprint there. Dude, you got to touch on that, bro. I had to make sure you mentioned that because I know that grabbed you.
I think that's yeah, it did. I think it's pretty simple. What legacy do you want to leave behind? It's pretty simple. We don't ask ourselves that question often. You know,
No,
fuck, I'm 55 years old. When you have a look at the age expectancy of, men in the world, my father passed away, I think, when he was 75. I've got 20 years, bro.
yeah,
I've
yeah.
literally
It's
got 20
now.
years.
It's right now, bro. It's right now. We got to do this shit.
Problem
I mean,
is that typical fucking male bullshit thing is like we wait until shit gets hard before we start to
yeah,
do the shit we need to do. It's like, fuck that. Why? Why the fuck does all of a sudden you decide to pull your finger out of your ass when stuff gets hard? Fuck me, I'm done with that shit. Like, is it like built into the fucking male spectrum? Like, what is that shit? It frustrates the fuck out of me. Um, yeah, I'm not gonna go into the whole, generational trauma. I'm not gonna go into the child trauma, and to a degree that there's an element there. I mean, that's the space I've been, and there's an element of it. However, you are your own individual. You're your own thought. You're your own person. Stop using the generational karma for your own fuck ups. Because you, at the end of the day, every decision you make, every thought that you have is an absolute reflection of where you are right here, right now. Don't
that's
blame
true.
generational trauma. Don't blame childhood trauma. Understand it. Then, and this is one really awesome thing that I've realized, it's all in the action. All in the action. Word is cheap. Talk is fucking cheap. You can talk the game. You can say all the things you want to say. You can talk yourself up all you want. But until you put shit into action, it means jack to me. And I'm all about actions speak a lot louder than words for me. So you can say all the things that you want to say. And you even ask a lot of females. There's a lot of women out there that, get over talked and over promised, and they hear what they want to hear, but yet there's a lot of men, and I'm going to be calling out a lot of men. There's a lot of men that just don't step up to the plate when it comes to the action. They say all these things that they want to say to make them sound all fucking good, but when it comes to actually doing the do, they're nowhere to be seen. So again, they're fucking lies. There's a lot of men. I'm a fucking liar.
Bro. Let me throw this one in there at you too because you make such a valid point. And the one thing that you'll say about action is tricky because I just thought of something that you talked about with the generational curse, right?
Mm.
Men, us men, and we'll just say in general, just men and women alike, you grow up in a certain environment, right? Whatever it looks like, whether it was a healthy environment, whether you didn't have both your parents, whatever it was, right? Whether it was good, bad, or indifferent. The thing about it is, Aaron, is when you get out into the world, you could start thriving.
Yeah.
Very, very much so. But I will say this, brother. You could be standing in your own shit, cleaning up your own shit, and then reshitting in the same area and then cleaning up your own shit. That's not action. You think it's action and you
Yeah.
think it's busy. And I guess my point to that is,
Yeah.
I mean, that was kind of a weird way to say that, but I guess
I love it.
what I'm meaning by it though, bro, is that you have the same five people around you that are pulling you down while you're trying your hardest to get out of this whatever crap you're in. So you're trying this business, you're doing this, you're building something amazing, but you have people telling you, no, that's not going to work. You should probably, that's what I'm talking about, standing in your own shit.
Yeah.
You're not around the right people. So I guess what I mean by that, man, is you just asked the question, why do we wait this long? The reason why I think we wait this long is because we don't know any better.
Yeah.
We're only given certain cards that we're dealt with. And again, I don't mean this as an excuse. I mean this as I know for me personally, I wouldn't be right here if I didn't say yes to an opportunity. Prior to saying yes to an opportunity, man, I had a certain way of thinking and I was very small minded. I thought I was big minded. I thought I had big goals and big dreams, but all I was doing was standing in my own shit,
Mm.
self sabotaging.
Mm.
Every time I felt like I was growing, I would shrink back down because I didn't think I was worthy of it. So like you
Yeah.
say, man, it's so interesting that you say, why do we wait? I think the reason why we wait is we don't know any better until we start getting around people that speak that way. And then we go, oh, there is life outside of here. I just have never seen it before. Not that it's an excuse, but until you start opening up your mind to that opportunity or to those people, you'll never see what's possible. Therefore, it keeps you small until you're finally like, this is so painful. I've got to do something different.
Yeah, love that. You brought up like a our upbringing, our environment that we were born into. You know, a lot of people, and great thing is that Eric said it. We've said it a couple of times that victim mentality is the currency that a lot of people are actually utilizing. So you know, people bring up oppression and all this stuff, and it's like fuck you. I lived like let's have a look at the reality of where I lived. It's like yes, I had a mother and a father. Father wasn't very present. Mum was an alcoholic. Dad was an alcoholic. Dad was a gambler. You know, gambled all our money away. Had to sell homes to get into downgrade to at least keep a home over our head. They did the best that they could, knowing what they knew. You know, they were going through some shit and they just didn't know how to get themselves out of it. One message that I and yes, listening to people that have gone through similar situations, but the one thing is that they stuck to their guns. They did what they needed to do every day, ignored people around them on their opinions, and really just fucking went for it. It'll take as long as it takes, and that's another thing. It's like we're so fucking impatient. We're in this, you know, instant gratification world. It's like if it doesn't work in 2 weeks, fucking, I'm going to try something else. And I wonder you're still in the same shit because you keep on fucking starting something and not finishing it. You're always restarting shit, and that's why your situation's not changing. Hoping that it is, hoping that we're going to find that $1 million product that's going to make us $1 million in like in a couple of months. It's just not going to happen. It's just not the reality. Yes, we have technology, things are faster, and it can happen. But the reality is that you just got to keep going every single day to ensure that you're working towards what you want to work towards. Now, the one thing that I've really harnessed on, over these years is trusting that inner voice, because the inner voice will guide you. There's an inner guidance. There's an inner voice that will guide you towards whatever it is that you're seeking. Our problem is that we ignore that inner voice and we start paying attention to the louder voices around us, or the ego, or the thing that keeps us stuck. And the one thing that I also need to do, and I put that out there to anyone listening to this, and even yourself, John, is that we have that doubt that comes up, but run towards it. Run towards that fear. Run towards that thing that's scaring the fuck out of you, because that's where the glory is. We just go back to that famous quote that I love. Magic is in the things that we're avoiding. And that's exactly true. So that's one thing I think that you need to really hold on to, is just hold on to the faith, hold on to trust, listen to that inner voice. The inner voice is guiding you to a better way, a better life. It's not there to hurt you. It's not there to keep you stuck. And you know what? I wouldn't listen to anyone that doesn't have the life that either you want to create, or the life that you already have.
I love that, man. That's so good. And
I like the one.
since we're talking quotes here, man, and one thing that I heard online the other day, and this is probably an older quote, but it hit me again because of the journey that we're on. And it was a quote from Usain Bolt, the track star from
Yeah,
Jamaica.
bro.
He said, I trained 4 years to run 9 seconds, but watch people quit in 2 months when they don't get what they want.
So
That's
famous.
so good, man. It's so good because then it puts your mind space in saying, I have to be there for as long as it takes. It's going to take as long as it takes. And it's going to be met with a lot of resistance.
Mm.
It's going to be met with a lot of self-doubt, fear, frustration, anger, pain, all these things that we're going to go through while we're on this journey. So that's why this journey is not for the faint of heart, Aaron. That's why you say your program's not for the faint of heart. It's more about it's less about your specific program and more about the fact like, hey, I'm reprogramming you to realize that this is a lifelong journey. This is not okay. When you complete my program, you get a participation medal and a T-shirt and say
Like
thank
that.
you.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't go like that, bro. So the end of the day, we need to look at this and go, this is livelihood now. This is the life that we're choosing now. So that means we're going to have to be uncomfortable every day of our life. Not when we arrive, we're there, it's done, we can chill. No, now is when the work really begins because now you have to work even harder to keep everything that you've built on this journey.
Yeah, and it's scaling. It's about impacting more people. And when you've got money, you can impact a lot of people. When you don't have money, you literally got a voice. You do the best that you can. So, yeah, and every single one of us in our own right can impact the world, either positively or negatively. All it takes is a word. Our words can either lift someone up or break someone down. So yeah, it all comes back to like, how am I impacting the world, and how can I get to a point where I can impact many, many people, not only through the podcast, not only with having a brick and mortar business. But yeah, that's the end goal. And you know what, I'm really going to touch on, at the end when you said that I would love to just turn around to my boy and go, "Hey man, I got you. Here's a home. Here's a home for you and your family." And not worry about it, because what I wanted to do, my goal, and I didn't have the opportunity to do it, was to turn around to my mum and dad and say, "I got you." And that's a big one for me is, you know, three little words, not "I love you." Those three little words that mean more to me than anything is "I've got you."
Mm, that's so good, man.
Yeah.
That's
But
so good. And to your point, right? As we wrap this up, I think the biggest thing that we can do here, Aaron, is just agree that with everybody watching right now, if we were to give you that, leave that in the comments. What would it look like for you if you had everything you wanted? I would love to hear
mm,
some feedback on this topic because Aaron and I have very clear cut thoughts on where we want our lives to be as a result of doing what we're doing right now. So, what does that look like for you? I would just love to hear more people say that because honestly, man, I don't really think a lot of people do because you know why? You don't think it's possible.
yeah.
You don't think that you're worthy or you're valuable enough or you're strong enough or you're this or you're that or you were born into the wrong family or whatever you think. But I would love to know what that looks. That's what I would say on the way out, man. What do you got to wrap us up?
That's it. I got nothing there, mate. That's bloody perfect. That's a perfect way of looking at it. So I just appreciate everyone for tuning in. It's been over a year now that John and I have been doing this. It's been a pretty cool journey. There've been some wins. There's been some great wins along the way, and there's going to be some, more wins to come. And it's going to be awesome. And every single one of us is going to. I I think for me, like, we're having this conversation. Don't say like, fuck. So now you got me going, bro. All right. So, what I what I hope for anyone to do when leaving this podcast, just sit there and ask yourself the question: what do you want your life to look like? Just start there.
That's it. Make it simple and then maybe write down a couple things.
Yep.
Start small because you don't understand how much the small little tiny things that you do, the little actions you take, they matter. And to what Aaron just said, we've been on this podcast for a year and we're just getting started. We've showed up every weekend with the exception of maybe a few and we've done this podcast. So we're here, guys. We're not going anywhere. You wait. Year two is going to be just as special. It's going to become with a lot more really cool things. So stay tuned. Aaron and I definitely have some more ideas and thoughts on where we want to take this thing. But brother, I just appreciate it. I appreciate being on this journey with you. We've said this before on the pod, but at the end of the day, I think the reason why I bring this up is we've been consistent. We could have fizzled in 20 episodes. We could have fizzled in 5 episodes because it was too hard or
Yeah.
too inconvenient or this, that, and the other, but we're still here. And that's what we want to just leave you guys with as we bow out this evening.
Yep. Let's fucking go. Simple. Love you, bro. Thanks, guys. Love you all.
Absolutely.